Hello everyone, my name is Christian. Welcome back to Tekpon. Today our guest is Hikari, the founder and CEO at Omneky. Hello.
Hi, how are you doing, Christian? Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Good. Thank you for taking the time to do this podcast. But first, please tell us what your company does.
Omneky is a generative AI company. We generate personalized advertisements at scale. So what we do is we fine-tune our generative models on the customer's brand, on their products, and we incorporate performance data from advertising networks to see what kind of creative is driving higher performance, driving higher sales. And we incorporate all this information to generate personalized, relevant content, effective content that helps businesses grow.
Okay. And what do you say is the biggest problem that you see that you solve for your customers?
Yeah, the biggest problem is ineffective creative content. So 55% of ad spend is wasted every year on ineffective ads. And so advertising is $1 trillion industry. So that's a lot of money being wasted. And so by generating more relevant copy and content and imagery and video, by analyzing all the data the marketers have better to get better insights about what's driving engagement and sales for customers, we're lowering and driving higher efficiency with our customers. So our average customer sees a 2x increase in return on ad spend.
That's amazing.
And also because we're automating a lot of the work, 8x higher efficiencies in terms of time and costs.
And are we talking about paid ads or also organic posts?
Yeah, we're talking about paid ads.
Paid ads, only paid ads, and I guess mostly through social media platforms and also Google, or is it only through social?
So all the social media platforms, streaming platforms, display platforms, and so really any type of digital advertisements is we have integrations for them, and we power those creative.
Okay, totally makes sense.
And by the way, our platform can be used for creating like native native content as well. But it's predominantly the data-driven approach is predominantly through these ad networks.
Right, because you need to test multiple copies, multiple graphics, and at scale.
Exactly.
I think that's amazing. And is it truly automated, so you don't have to do any kind of work? So the product replaces the images in real time, replaces the copy, and after that you just see some results?
Yeah, so right now there's a human in terms of the approval process. So
Okay.
we don't want to just generate everything on behalf of the brand and behalf of the client without their approval. So there is an approval workflow, and there's also a workflow tool where our customers can go in and generate their own content, see their own insights, generate their own creative briefs, generate their own advertisements. But the vision, and I think the direction we're going in the next couple of years, or next honestly year or two, is full self-driving. So the AI is learning and generating and launching content on behalf of our customers.
That's amazing. But it's good that you have a human process and approval.
Yes. Well, for today, I mean, I think our customers, there's the brand is so important, and so we really want to make sure that the customer is in full control of their brand while harnessing the power of generative AI to help them scale.
What do you say are the most loved features of the platform?
Well, we just launched a new feature that's called Product Generation Pro. We actually launched it about a year ago, but we announced version 2 of this, and we announced this last week. And what's really cool is you can generate these hyper-realistic product photos and videos, and so you can upload just 5 to 10 images on every product, and then our generative model fine-tunes on that product photo, and then generates. And with a prompt, you can generate that product in any setting. For example, let's say you're making a car commercial. Well, you just need to upload 5, 10 images of your car, maybe like 360 from all different angles, and then you can prompt car driving by the beach, car driving in the mountains, car amazing. Driving in the snow, car driving in the city, and you generate all these different images and videos that you can then use in advertisements.
Wow, that's amazing. And we're talking about both digital products and real products, right?
Yeah, so right. So in this instance, for product generations, it's predominantly focused on hyper fine-tuning on on physical products.
Yep.
But yeah, you can also fine tune it on a person. You can fine tune it on clothes. You can fine tune it on location, and so and it's done through this technique called LoRa. So it's these fine tunes are done very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Within a couple of minutes, within about 5 minutes, you can fine tune these massive diffusion models, image generation models, and then generate uh, you know your product in any kind of setting within a couple of seconds.
Can you share some kind of a success story on how you helped a certain brand achieve some results and how it worked out for them?
Sure, absolutely. And so our case studies are on our website.
Yep.
So if you go to omneky.com, you can see our case studies there. And so, for example, I think we just one case study that we announced, we actually just posted recently on our socials is a company called Time Class, and we're helping them. They're this eco-friendly product for replacing like eco-friendly. Essentially, it's like plastics that are biodegradable.
Okay.
And what we did was we helped them, increase return on ad spend of their ads by 5.3x, which is pretty good. That's for every dollar they spent, they generate about $5 in conversions, and we helped them raise over 5 million. So they were doing a little bit of a crowdfunding campaign to help raise more funds for their product. And so what we discovered was things like the images, kind of these graphic imagery of photographs, plastics dissolving in seawater, or kind of the underwater photographs of materials dissolving and causing bubbles in the water, photographs of plastic bubbles dissolving into the dark ocean on water. These kind of visceral imagery was very effective in kind of
Yes.
communicating the value prop of their company. And again, these are things that you can only really generate with AI, right? I mean, it's not like there's a ton of stock photos of this kind of stuff. And so, we could generate, we can run these tests with AI, and you can also learn these insights with AI. And so that's a kind of an example of what AI enables in terms of delivering results for customers.
I appreciate this and it makes total sense. And about the industry or target audience, who would you say is the product oriented to?
Yeah, so our product is oriented towards marketing directors and creative directors who are looking to drive better efficiencies and scale in their performance marketing.
And in terms of industries?
Yeah, in terms of industry, I would say right now today it's mostly I would say like B2C, so consumer oriented companies, but a substantial portion, about a third to 40% of our customer base is also like SaaS companies. So companies selling software to other businesses, so B2B as well.
Yes.
But yeah, if you're a fintech company, if you're a CPG company, I mean those are companies that make the majority of our business today.
How competitive is this space? I guess it's an innovative solution, but I'm curious to know your take on the market and how the product is different from the rest.
Yeah, so advertising technology is very fast moving because people advertisers and marketers are always very willing to try out new techniques, new tools, um, and um, and so it's on us to make sure that we're constantly delivering the best state of art technologies to our customers. Um, I would say that the way we differentiate amongst this competition, we've been now operating for over 6 years, so we've been kind of operating at the forefront of this highly competitive industry for some time. Is really just making sure that number one, we're delivering state of the art generative AI capabilities to customers. So again, mention things like generating hyper realistic images and video. I think we're one of the very few companies that do it to this level and this degree and this quality. I don't know of any other ad tech companies that are delivering this level of hyper realistic imagery to help replace photo shoots and video shoots. Really, really great analytical insights. And so our very first product that we launched when the company was initially founded was an analytics tool. So using computer vision to tag different creative elements and discover trends between what's actually driving results. And that kind of data-driven orientation regarding design is also fairly unique for Omneky. You have kind of analytics companies and you have
Yeah.
generation companies, but you have very few data-driven
Yeah.
generation companies. In fact, I can't think of very many. And so Omneky operates at this very intersection between data and design that is actually kind of hard to execute because you do need to have a deep intuitive understanding of colors and storytelling how do you frame an image, how do you frame a video, how do you sequence elements, what makes compelling story, what makes compelling design, what makes designs beautiful, but also understand CPMs and CTRs and ROAS and then all the various ad networks and how do you build integrations, both for getting analytics and insights from these ad networks, but also pushing content onto these ad networks. And so you need a big infrastructure there as well. And then actually you also do need to be at the forefront of generative AI in terms of diffusion
Yeah.
models and LoRa and transformers and so and RAG. And so like these different you really it is kind of you need to spin a bunch of plates to kind of be able to deliver this kind of experience for customers, and I think we continue to do that well. And so that is, if you're a customer, if you're a marketer seeking data-driven tools to power your creative, I think we're one of the best products for that.
Yeah, and I think it's getting more and more competitive now that the access to AI is, let's say, easier. But it's amazing that you've been in this market before AI became common.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thesis always has been when the company was founded was that the generative AI technologies would continue to advance, right, and it would also be continue to advance open source, and it would continue to be democratized, right, to your point, like more and more people have access to technology. What we didn't think would be commoditized, and I think this has been true so far, is the distribution of the data. So those
Yep.
two things are not commodities. Those two things are not being commoditized because data is very secure and special, and enterprises find very value in their data, and they're not going to just share all that. And the second of all is distribution. I mean, there's only so much attention in the world. There's only so many eyeballs in the world, and that's
Yes.
not getting commoditized. And so we've always built at this intersection of distribution and data and content, and that's by staying super close to the end consumer who's seeing the content and building integrations to get more distribution for our brands. It's for making sure that we're getting as much data and building as many data integrations with our customers. So every single ad network, but also CRM platforms, CDP tools, digital asset management tools, any source of additional data we can get, and delivering better insights and workflows for customers. Those two things have, that's kind of outside the realm of kind of the sexy and fun generative AI
Yeah.
capabilities, but really where the nuts and bolts of our product reside. And so it's kind of like you come for the generative AI because that's the cool thing, that's the shiny thing, that's what gets you to the door. But then you come to our store and you realize we have built all these integrations and workflows already, and it's quite robust and scalable and reliable in terms of these automated generating these smart A/B tests and helping you actually deliver these results.
And all in one, so you find everything in one platform. So that's great. How did you come up with the idea for this?
Yeah. So sometimes I think entrepreneurs sometimes they're in the right place at the right time in some ways, and sometimes you're like the right person at the right moment in time. And I was very lucky because I grew up in a very technical and artistic environment. So I grew up in New York, in Westchester. My grandfather worked at IBM, so I grew up in this kind of early access computers, programming at a fairly younger age, competing in robotics competitions and such. But separately, my dad's a painter. He's an artist. And so I studied computer science at Harvard. I was taking AI courses also at MIT. I was cross-registered there. I'd gone into there. And I was actually at MIT about a decade ago when I saw the early generative models, a precursor to these generative adversarial networks, that I got very excited about technology because the idea of AI generating artwork was just incredibly interesting to me. So outside of kind of the whole business applications of generative AI, I was just really more excited about the about technology, the
Yes.
idea that an AI could generate art and be creative, and so that's what got me really hooked in the company in generative AI. And so I became just like a AI like fanatic. So I was playing around with the various public embeddings as they were being released. I'm reading all the research, um, and uh, 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 and then separately I had started this company in college, which was a personalized learning application. It was an ed tech company. This ed tech company gets acquired by another company called Yup.com, where I became the head of marketing through this
Oh,
acquisition.
okay. Mm-hmm.
And so I was there running marketing and advertising, running display ads on Google and creating content for Instagram and creating designs for say like pamphlets and such that we'd maybe put in water bottles and such. That I saw finally this opportunity to apply this technology that I'd been like kind of a fan of on the side, and so this putting the two together like this. I'm just like naturally interested in this generative AI stuff, and so I'm just like
Yes.
so I'm following it very closely, separately in my day job. I'm working with a lot of data and insights and analytics, and I have to create a lot of content. And it was really putting those two together that got me to start the company back in 2018. But really, at the same time, the first couple of years, we were very early. So it was the first couple of years were pretty lean, and it was like but like, I think what kept me going was so we were initially bootstrapped, and what kept me going I think was just a deep, genuine interest in the technology. So like the fact that every day I can spend time like learning more about like the fact that programs can create art and create super realistic imagery and how they do those things and was like fulfilling in and of itself. And so it's like the business aspect was cool, but like the thing that was even I mean, and I'm a massive business nerd as well, and like I love reading. I'm a fanatic reader of business books and reading the story behind all the different products and companies out there. And if I can find a business book, I will kind of like I just devour it really quickly. But separately, just learning more about deep learning and neural nets, and that itself was also like just incredibly fun and interesting as well. So I didn't like the first 2 years actually blew by very quickly, and then in 2020, there's a couple of big breakthroughs. I mean, I think GPT-3 comes out 2020. So like for GPT, we were like fine tuning GPT-2 models in the early years, and we're using some basic computer vision to find insights analytics for customers. But 2020 we have GPT-3 that raises incredible awareness for generative AI in the market, raises demand. And then and that's from there obviously we've seen kind of an acceleration of adoption of AI tools since then. Yeah, that's kind of the origin story.
And you're in a great position. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Do you think it's important to follow your passion in business?
I think it's important to I think it's really intersection of three things. Follow your passion for sure, right? Because you have to be passionate about it, because otherwise you're going to give up. And almost if you want to be the best at something, you can't give up. So you have to be passionate, but it also has to make money. So it has to be something passion that makes money, and then you have to also be the very best at it. So like, what is something? Because what is something that you're the very best at, like in the world, like number one? Because you're right. In anything there is, in any world there's competition. Anything you do, there's competition. So you have to
Yes.
be the best at it. So because you can love it and you might be able to make money, but maybe you're just not very good at it, right? In which case, then that's not that won't necessarily work
Yeah.
either. So you have to be the very best in the world at it. You have to be passionate about it. So you have to deeply love this subject matter, and you have to be able to make money, because you could be the very best at it, but and be very good, but maybe there's it's not something that makes a lot of money. And so I would say it's really those three things.
How big is the team today?
The team is about 40 people. It's about 40 people full time.
And
Yeah, and
and,
most
and
of
how
them are
much?
based in Sunny. Most of them are
Okay.
based in Sunnyvale, in San Francisco, in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Mm-hmm. And how much did you raise, and why did you decide to fundraise and not stay bootstrapped?
Yeah. So we've raised about a little over 13 million in seed capital. And the reason why, we've raised some great investors, and I think the reason why raise is because we want to work closely with great investors. So we raised from our very first investor was Village Global, which is an early stage fund. Based in the Bay, very connected in the Bay Area. They're like a network as a service as plus VC. So if you want introductions to anybody, they're really helpful with that. And I think that network is very important in business, and you definitely need to have a strong network. So partnering with them, they were our first investor. They were day one investor. Partnering with them early was really critical for the survival of the company, and its continued position. Our investors include SoftBank, who are also, have globally very well resourced, have a lot of information, and then also a lot of customer relationships, as well as capital, and so they can help fuel our growth as we need the resources. I mean, you don't. Money doesn't solve problems, right? Like people will solve problems, and sometimes you can have too much money, and that can actually be a problem as well. So, just you want to make sure that you're adequately resourcing in the correct dosage at every stage. So, but having a great financial backer like that, I think, is very important and very helpful. Nomura is a great investor as well in the company. They're a massive financial institution, and they're also very connected. So we work with, and we're also partnered with J.P. Morgan, which is another very great financial institution. And so I think we raise money because, well, definitely the money helps with accelerating the development of the technology, but also because there's a lot of other benefits that come with that regarding additional access to capital or networks and information.
And you said 13 million in seed?
Yeah, 1-3.
Wow, that's amazing. One of the biggest rounds, but yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do you think you found product market fit?
Product market fit is a function of the environment, and so you can have product market fit, you can lose product market fit, and the environment's constantly changing every 6 months. So I think we've had product market fit. I think we have product market fit, but it's not something that's, I think, like you have it or you don't have it. I think it's like a thing that you're constantly fighting for.
Yes.
And so yeah, what we're doing is we're obsessed with customers. We're obsessed with the technology, and just constantly working to deliver the state of our technology for our customers. And as long as we do that, I think we'll continue to grow and continue to grow our customers and continue to have the business thrive.
I have 2 questions left for you. What would be your best piece of advice for a starting founder? Let's say someone that just finished their studies.
Is this a founder that has an idea, or is this a founder that's kind of looking for an idea?
Let's say without an idea.
Yeah. So I would say, if you become an expert at something, if you have and not necessarily in the sense that not necessarily in the sense that you work for that industry. Oftentimes, industry is disrupted by outsiders, so it's not like Elon starting a car company, right? It's not like he had experience building cars, but he is became like an expert of the car industry, as he's building and scaling this company. So become like, you want to be like a T-shaped person, right? So you want to have like a very, very deep expertise in one subject domain that gives you an edge, because ultimately you do need to know something unique, have some unique insight in the market that the incumbents are blind to, or they're either because that's the way their industry is structured monetarily, that they're like willfully blind to this reality, or because they're just not aware of it. And so you need to be an expert in something that gives you like a unique perspective on an industry, that gives you a competitive edge. And then you just can't give up like against that insight, right? So you as an entrepreneur, you feel like you found this unique perspective, or a unique piece of information, or you have this unique perspective on this industry. It's something that you're kind of a contrarian about, and but because it's non-obvious, it's gonna. I mean, precisely because it's not obvious. Because if it was obvious, then it'd be very competitive already. It'd be hard to get started. So it has to be like a non-obvious
Yes.
concurrent. Like for me, in this instance, for Omneky, it was AI and advertising, and 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. The early that was very contrarian. Like nobody really believed in that, right? And so we developed a head start there. Which is now being very valuable now. So you need to have this contrarian perspective by becoming an expert in an industry, and then you have to just not give up and believe in yourself potentially for many years, and that's hard too, to not give up on your belief of a unique insight, and then to execute against that every single day without giving up. And so you need to have grit, and yeah. So that would be my advice.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate this, and I think it's really valuable for founders. I have the last question for you, Hikari. What's your favorite software that you use? Your favorite SaaS product that you use, but apart from Omneky?
Yeah. Well, so my favorite SaaS products today are these AI tools. So like Gemini, ChatGPT. I find them. Yeah, it's like you pay some nominal amount, but it's the value you get is so much more. And so yeah, I use them to send emails. I use them to help. I was doing prompting Gemini a couple months ago, and create a spreadsheet of all my competitors and the strengths and weaknesses of my competitors. And it would print out this amazing spreadsheet, and it would go and research the web and things. So yeah, that is my favorite software today.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining the podcast. It was great. And I wish you the best of success with the product. I really believe in it. And I think it's a great need for this. And yeah, thank you so much. I'm grateful.